Hi, this is Gloria with stampwithgloria.com. Today I'm going to show you how to make a quick little snow card using a watercolor technique. This has been on the internet. You've seen it a couple of different ways. I am going to show you my version of doing it. We're going to use the Sleigh Ride Edgelits and the seasonal frame Thinlits to do this card. The word snow comes from the Thinlits, and then the trees come from the Sleigh Ride Edgelits. You know the difference between Thinlits and Edgelits? Well, Edgelits are for like the edge of a paper, and Thinlits do words or objects or cut out a stamp image. A lot of our Edgelits match stamped images in the catalog, so you just have to check that out. So how do we do this card? It's a watercolor technique, and because it is a watercolor technique, we are going to use watercolor paper. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is, I do this a little bit differently than how they show on the internet. I just like to be different, I guess. Actually, it's just the way I was taught when I was a kid. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spritz up a piece of paper and make it nice and juicy, and then I'm going to use an acrylic block. Okay, and I'm using the biggest one that we have. I'm going to use 3 different colors of stamp pads on the block, and I'm going to start with the lightest color in the middle. Okay, now I've got a great tip that I got from Sue Miller. When I demonstrated this to my downline, I started on an end and went dark, light, mid dark. And she says, well, why don't you start with the light, then you can tap the color on, the dark colors on, and not worry about messing up the light color. So that was a great tip. So do the light color first, and then on each end do another color. So that was Island Indigo, and then on the bottom we're going to have the Night of Navy. Okay, so we've got our 3 colors there. Then I am going to, I want this card to be the long way, like this. So I'm just going to take it and I'm going to just kind of squish it right on there and all the way across the card. Let it bleed down the middle. Isn't that great? Booyah! We're done. Nothing else needs to be done to that card. No, I'm teasing. We're going to do a pretty cool technique with it. So it's nice and juicy and wet. It's going to bow. That's okay. When I dry it with the heat gun, it's going to flatten out. It'll be fine. But I am going to sprinkle salt on it. The water on the card is going to melt the salt and give it, you can see it's starting to give like little kind of grungy look in there. If you want it to give more of a grungy look, go ahead. Just spritz it, get it all wet. It's going to start to, basically it's pulling the ink off the card is what it's going to do. And I am going to use my heat gun real quick just to dry the card. It'll dry the salt too. Just let everything bleed the way it wants to bleed. You don't have to be fussy about it. That's the beauty of this card. Okay, so getting all that juicy wetness gone. Finish it up here. Oh, I can feel it starting to get dry. And see, as it dried, just like I said, it got flat again. Okay, so that's the quick way. You want to make sure, however, that you've gotten every last drop off. So I would just flip it over. Plus, this is a way for you to get the salt off the card. And then you can just wrap up that piece of paper and move it to the side while you finish your card. Okay, so I'm going to just wrap this up. Good, now we've got all the salt. Woohoo! Another good tip that Sue Miller, when she was doing this, she dried it and she didn't particularly care for how light it got. So what she did is she inked up the acrylic block again, stamped it again on the image, and made it a much more intense color. I happen to like what's going on here, so we're going to leave it just like that. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to, I already cut out a little tree Thinlit and Night of Navy, and we're going to just stick that right on the card because it's dry already, right? Because I went ahead and I used the heat gun on it. So you can put your trees anywhere you want. On the original card, I had them the flip way. On this card, I'm going to do this way. It's just totally up to you. See what I did? There you go. And then I am going to put the word snow on. But it is such a very narrow, tiny name that what I'm going to do is I'm going to use our handy dandy new fine tip glue pen. Isn't this awesome? Now a lot of people will unscrew it from the bottom because they think that's where they need to do it. It's actually got such a fine tip with a little tiny pin in it. So you're going to screw just the white part of the glue off. And then I'm just going to take and squeeze a little bit on my snow word here. And I got news for you guys while I'm gluing this. You'll be the first to know. I will announce it in my newsletter next month. But if you're a demonstrator and you're watching this and you're in my downline, I am moving to Eau Claire in January or February. We have to clean up a few things here before we can officially move, but my husband has taken a job in Eau Claire. I am, let's say, I'm not exactly delighted, but because this will be our 16th move. So I am ready for this to be my forever home. So we're gonna just cross our fingers and hope that this is gonna be my forever home and that I never have to move again. No guarantees, but there you have it. I am moving to Eau Claire this year. So I'm in the process of packing and getting things together. A lot of you might not know that I also do have a Pilates studio. I work on people with problem backs, paraplegics, just injuries that I rehab. And I just opened my studio 2 months ago. I just got all of my Pilates equipment and opened it, and then my husband decided to make this move. So I got to pack up all of that, and my poor clients, I feel so bad for them, but you know, when you're married, you got to do what you got to do. Okay, so the next thing is I'm going to put some pretty little glitter on, but we're going to do it a little bit different way. I'm taking an Aqua Painter, and I'm just squeezing some water into a well here. And then I'm going to take some of our multi-purpose liquid glue, and I'm just going to squeeze that right into that water there. Okay, so what you're doing is you're just really thinning out this glue quite a bit. You want to just mix it up real well. So basically it's thinned out glue. Now I'm going to take and tap my finger. If you have arthritis and this hurts your finger, then take a pencil or something. I know when I demoed this at my meeting, one of my gals does have arthritis really badly, and it did hurt her finger. So she used a pen like that. So very easy to do. So you can see I sprinkled a whole bunch of glue on there. The cool thing about this technique is that everything's not so uniform. So, you know, it's not perfect, which snowflakes are not perfect. So you get this kind of really cool snowflake look on it. So then I'm just going to put my Dazzling Diamonds all over it, and then we'll just tap it off. Whoop. Whoop. There we go. Oh, isn't that cool? All right, there we go. Now we got the snowflakes all over this card, and it says snow. I love it. This is such a cool card because you can do so many really cool techniques with the background and different colors. So experiment with it and have fun. I'm just going to finish putting this card together. For those demonstrators that are in the Eau Claire area, I should be there soon. I'm looking forward to meeting all of you. I will check my downline list and see where all of you are. For my Milwaukee demonstrators who I've been working with, I'm going to continue to do monthly meetings, so I will be here. So either email me or check the newsletter to see when the meetings are and what location that they're at. Everything that I made here today is in the Stampin' Up! Catalog, and you can order it from me at stampwithgloria.com. You guys have a great day.